Okay. Just 1 second. Okay. Just 1 second. Of course, I forgot about the audio. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to another stream casting Alchemy League. As you might have guessed by the slideshow, I forgot to change the slideshow images. Sorry tech, sorry Otto for making you assume we were going to be casting in Season 5. I'll just try to remember for next time to have the proper slideshow. Anyway, as you might deduct by the title, we are going to cast Season 6. I know there are still some sets from Season 5 which need to be casted. I'll try to catch up to that, but of course, being this the one season which is going on, I will try to give this one precedency. Is that an English word? I'm sorry, my mind is a little bit jumbled right now. So yeah, this I'm going to be casting Season 6, and then if we still have some, some days where there are no sets to be casted, which is going to be quite unlikely, then yeah, we'll try to catch up with Season 5, but for the time being, yeah, we're going to be focusing on 6. Season 6, yeah. So, before we jump into the two sets we have for today, let me just give you a quick look at the Wikipedia page, since this is the first cast we do for Season 6. As you can see, the format is the same as it has been for previous seasons. So we have 2 sprints, so 8 rounds in total. It's a 1v1 format and Pl0tterghost. So there is no specific players winner for sets unless they go to 0. You can have ties. And as we see most of the times sets do tend to end in ties. We have some new maps of the round, which are the ones we're going to be seeing down here. So Confluence, Gugong, Krorina, Lagoon Forest, Ruaragai, Shattered Plains, Shimmerpool, and the Thaw. And today we're going to be casting sets from round 1 of sprint 1. And if I'm not mistaken, map of the round is going to be Krorina. But we'll see as soon as we get to the draft. So I'm sorry, I do not know why the words are not coming to me today. Anyway, participants, we got up to 42 this time around, which is a pretty nice number. We see some names which have been with us for previous seasons as well. Some of these names have been with us since Season 1. Some others, maybe they played in previous seasons, then they skipped one, then they came back. But I mean, if we look at names like, I don't know, Otto, I think Season 1 is the only one he skipped. Winchester, I'm quite certain he played in all of the seasons. Same goes for Oladushek. Chanchillero, I know he played in Season 4 and 5. I do not remember if he played in seasons before that one, before the third one. Before the fourth one. Jesus. Well, Skitza, I know I played him in Season 2. I think he then... No, it was Season 3. I think he then skipped a couple of seasons and now he's back. Wazinatic is another player who has played with us a lot of times. And so on and so forth. I do want to spend the whole stream just talking about people who have come back, but there are also some new names. So, and in fact, we have a new name for our first set of the day, which we're going to jump into right now. So, first set is going to be, as I mentioned in the announcement on the server, is going to be a rodent fight. So it's going to be FlyingMouse against Chipmunk. Chipmunk being the newcomer, whereas FlyingMouse, he has been with us in Season 4 and 5. I'm sure do not remember if he was with us in previous seasons as well. Also, I think you know the guy, so maybe you can tell me. And yeah, so let's take a quick look at the players before looking at draft. So Chipmunk, the newcomer, is a player from Argentina. He is 1300. He's currently at his highest, so it might be that he's 1300. Maybe he's high 1300 right now. Maybe his real elo is, generally speaking, your real elo is about 50 to 80, maybe 100 below your all-time high. And then we have FlyingMouse, who is slightly higher in elo. As we can see, his current elo is 1450, basically, but he had a highest of 1540. So as I said, about 80 elo of difference between your actual elo and your highest one. So there is about a 100 elo difference between these two players, which is not enough to have handicap for Chipmunk. And FlyingMouse, as I said, not a newcomer. He has been with us in previous seasons as well, and he's a player from Germany. So that said, let's see. So the maps, we had to grow Rhina for game 1, since it is the map of the round, and then the players, they just banned different maps, and were left with Shimmerpool, which I was thinking about it. Tech, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a map which was very similar in back in the King of Ireland tournament. I do not remember the name. I think it might be Blarney, but maybe I'm mistaken. And it was very similar. Of course, Shimmerpool, once we get into the game, we'll talk about it a little bit. It's in some ways it is similar to the one from the King of Ireland. In some others it's completely different, but we'll talk about that later. So as for civs, here in Alchemy League, since the previous season, during the draft, we have 5 randomized bans. Then players get 4 picks, but after their 3rd pick, they can snipe a civ from their opponent, and they get to ban Sage. So as we can see, the randomizer chose Georgians, Sicilians, Portuguese, Dravidians, and Ethiopians as globally banned civs. And then FlyingMouse, he went on to ban Cumans and Chinese, whereas Chipmunk banned Spanish and Persians. I would say both players' bans make sense to me. Spanish and Persians are, generally speaking, very strong civs, so you do not want to deal with them. And same goes for Cumans and Chinese. So it makes sense that at this stage of the game, of the tournament, when players, yes, they maybe have tried out the maps, but not as familiar as they would be in, let's say, by round 4 or 5, it makes sense that they tend to ban what are, generally speaking, conceived as, better civs. And by that same token, then FlyingMouse went on to pick civs which, well, actually both players went on to pick civs which are generally considered very strong civs. So we said Lithuanians, Armenians, Berbers, and Tatars for FlyingMouse, with Berbers being sniped. And then Chipmunk went for Hindustanis, Mongols, Huns, and Britons, with Mongols being sniped. Now, I'm happy to see Britons because I believe they have not been played that much in the Alchemy League. I know I used them in Season 3 once, but I did not believe I've seen them since then. And that was Season 3. We're now in Season 6, so that's been a while. Anyway, those were the players. Those were the drafts. Let me just load up Capture Rage. There we go. And we can start off. So, first map, Ooh. I knew I was forgetting something. Sorry. I've been casting some other tournaments as well. So which one comes first? Alchemy League Season 6. Alright, now we are ready. So first map, Croraina. As you can see, the players, they start off in their base with walls and a couple of yurts. You have 2 sets of berries and a couple of woodlines on your walls. It's actually quite weird because you have walls spawning in the woodline. So you actually, as you can see, Chipmunk, he's deleting some walls to make space for his villagers later on to be cutting through. You have some sheep in your base, and there are some on the outside, and then you have boars. You have 2 on the outside as well. Now, what is important about this map is that you're not going to be having a lot of gold access, because if you go outside your walls, the only accessible ones are 2 piles. So you see one here and one here. That's it. That's the only accessible gold you will have at the start. Later on, you can take down these walls, which are Gaia walls, 600 HP each, and then you will get access to these piles of gold, which are walled off. You can convert the towers. I believe you can. You could during my tests. Maybe the map has changed, but we'll see. But despite the fact you can convert the tower, you cannot delete it. So you cannot just convert it, delete it, and get to the gold. You have to actually destroy the wall. Oh, will FlyingMouse get the tower? Yes, he will. Okay. And then, here in the middle, you see we have 4 wonders. They're Gaia wonders, they cannot be converted, but if you destroy them, they spawn a relic. So that's going to be another source of income for your gold. And then this yurt and these units, they're just aesthetically, they don't, I believe you cannot even attack the units. They're there just for aesthetics. There is some stone around on the map, but that's it. So it's a map with very low resources, aside from, you know, wood, which is quite spread out. So we'll see how the 2 players will approach that. So let's talk saves. We have Tatters from FlyingMouse. I'm unsure why. He is probably thinking, well, we have no deers. There is very little resources. Let's try and make our sheep last longer so we do have access to some food. Oh, you can access the tower by hopping through it. You can access the gold by hopping through the tower. Okay. Oh. I do not know why, but I didn't think of that during the test, and that's so obvious. Okay, that changes things. So it's actually not too bad having these walls, because then you can actually protect your villagers. Okay, that changes a lot. Alright, let's go back talking to ships. So yeah, Tatters, your ship is going to last longer. Another strong point about Tatters is that their units, they deal more damage when shooting from elevation. Or rather, all units of all ships will deal more damage when shooting from elevation. Tatters just have an additional bonus to that. So their units are even stronger. But the thing is, aside from, you know, this depression in the middle, the map is flat. So that bonus is not going to come into play. And we see FlyingMouse up to Feudal Age. And so is Chipmunk. Now, Chipmunk is Britons. So they actually both went for saves with a bonus on their sheep. And Chipmunk, he is already farming. He's taking the berries. He's just long distancing these ones. I mean, it's fine. Oh, scout from FlyingMouse goes down. And I'm not too sure what FlyingMouse is going to be doing as Britons, which I believe should have the advantage. In the long run, I know, you know, Tatters, their Hussars and Cavalry Archers, they can get +1 armor, both melee and pierce, with the unique tech. So that should in some way deal with the Breton Archers. But then Britons... Oh, Chipmunk is actually going for Fast Castle. Both players are going for Fast Castle. Oh, no, never mind. FlyingMouse is doing builds. So, yeah, Britons Archers, they're going to be dealing less damage to the Tatars, but then Britons, they have access to Halberdier. And their archers shoot from farther away anyway. So, I believe if played correctly, like a Briton Halberdier, Arbalester, or even Longbowman, because you do have access to quite a decent amount of stone around the map. That combination should be good against Tatars, which I believe do not get... Oh, no, actually they get Siege Ram. Huh. They do get Siege Ram, so that's interesting. Okay, we'll have to see, because I believe I've never seen a Briton Tatar matchup in the late game. Oh yeah, Tatars to match the building aesthetic. That makes sense. But I mean that goes for these walls only, right? So here you have the Eastern Asian style of architecture. Yeah, it's a mixture of Eastern style and Central style. Anyway, we see FlyingMouse going for Scout. It's a bit weird he made the stable so far in the back. He could have maybe deleted here and built it there, but he's opting for Castle himself. He probably realized what his opponent was doing and he figured, well, he's walled. So this kind of aggression is not going to pay off, sorry. Let's just go up to Castle ourselves. Chipmunk now making use of his cheaper town centers as Britons, cheaper on wood. He's dropping one right here. We now see a barracks from him, so I wonder what he's going to go for. Because of course the barracks opens up the possibility to build a stable and an archery range, but he's not doing neither, so I think for the moment he's just going to be playing defensively. And boom behind this. Again, Britons, because of the cheaper TCs, very nice save to boom with. Now, Tatars can do a... Well, that's still open. Tatars can still do somewhat of a decent boom. Because whenever your extra TCs go up, you receive two sheep underneath those. And again, as Tatars, they last longer. So they will give you a little bit more than 200 food. Which is a nice bonus. I mean, it's not as intuitive as the Lithuanian one, because Lithuanians, they just get 100 food whenever the TC goes up. So Tatars, they can potentially get more food when the TC goes up compared to Lithuanians, but they have to work for it. Whereas for Lithuanians, it's immediate. It's instant. And we see Tatars, yeah, he's dropping 2 TCs. He figured, well, he's not going to be attacking me. Maybe I should boom behind this. He might be able to catch up in bills. I mean, he's behind by 1. Because Chipmunk has about a minute more of idle TC time. And Chipmunk is dropping his 3rd TC right now, which is going to be up quite late because he's building it with 1 bill. By the time that one goes up, FlyingMouse will already have his 3rd one up, so he's going to be catch up. He might even... Okay, no, he doesn't risk it. Oh, he's going back. Never mind. But he got the tower. Wait, now I'm curious. Can you steal them back? I'm sorry if it looks like I do not know much about this map despite testing it. The thing is, I tested it with the AI, but as you might imagine, the AI on such a map where you start with walls is going to be pretty dumb. So there is just so much testing you can do. But yeah, both players just chilling, dropping buildings. Ooh, actually, we have step lancers now from FlyingMouse, who is also collecting relics. Now, as you can see, there are some relics on the map, close to the yurts, the Gaia yurts. So there was one up there. And that's it. I don't see any more. Unless he already got 2. No, just 1. Oh, I'm pretty sure it will. The next one will turn up eventually, unless Chipmunk took it. No. So we have a single step lancer. Actually, let's see what FlyingMouse sees. So FlyingMouse knows about the 30C from Chipmunk. And does Chipmunk I know about the extra TCs? Probably not, yeah. Yes, yeah, so Chipmunk, because FlyingMouse built his TCs in the back, well, he doesn't know about the extra 2. He might think there is one here because he saw the farms. Well, a single farm. And score is quite close, so... And he knows he explored basically all of the map aside from this area. So he knows that the score is close, not because of his opponent scouting only, but also because of the eco. We have a castle. We have longbowmen coming in. Fletching coming in right now. Now going for Botkin and longbowmen. They're not going to be able to kill straight away the Tatars, especially with this amount of walls. Oh, 4th DC. But while it is true that you can hop into the tower and get to the gold, you can just sit outside with archers and snipe the villagers. Okay, towers in front from FlyingMouse. Probably got... Oh no, he didn't get a house, but he's going to be. If he doesn't build houses. Okay, a Chipmunk is going to... attack the monument. I wonder if he... I heard the monk. Oh, there it is. Trying to get the step lance. I wonder if he just, you know, patrolled, go towards his opponent, and the archers just started attacking the monument. Ballistics coming in. He's going to have the stone for another castles pretty soon. But FlyingMouse is up to Imp. He's going to be able to drop a castle of his own, and... He's going to do what exactly? He's making more a second scout, so he's probably going to be opening Cav. Because he also got the first armor. His eco is not as strong as you might want it to be by the time you get to Imperial. I mean, he's on 40 Cs, right? So by the time he gets to Imp, he might be able to be up to 90 villagers. He's getting a lot. Is he going to open Kashyyyk? Oh, I hope he does. Kashyyks would be a very interesting unit here because they, putting the attack aside, they basically have the same stats as a paladin when fully upgraded. They have the same armor. I think they have something like 15 less HP and maybe 2 less attack, something like that. But they generate gold when they attack, and they are way cheaper than a paladin. Now, I don't remember the exact cost, but I think it's around 60 food, 60 gold, something like that. Yeah, we got Kashyyyk. Ooh. Okay, Chipmunk, he's ignoring his opponent. He wants the relics. We also have a ram on the field, but he's going for pikemen, and pikemen could be an issue for the Kashyyyk. So FlyingMouse is adding some archery ranges. Now, as Tatars, you might be thinking, well, I'll go into CA. But I would not be a fan of that, because you're facing Britons, right? So you're going to be dealing with a combination of pikes and archers. So just go for skirmisher. You go for skirmishers, you keep them, you use them to keep your tribes alive, and if you ever so slightly think your opponent is going to be going, you know, for infantry from militia line, you just use the Kashyyyks to deal with that. Kashyyyk getting converted. Now, FlyingMouse is going to have an idea of how big the longbowman mass is going to be. I think he also saw the pikeman. Halberdier is now going to come in. We heard the bell. Eco difference. There is an advantage for FlyingMouse, but it's not that big, and Chipmunk has the second number upgrade. FlyingMouse still missing that, but he's getting handcart, which is pretty nice. He's also going to be able to take down the Wander way faster than his opponent, thanks to the trap, where his opponent is going to use the ram. And he's going for CA. He's getting the Silk Armor upgrade, so these CA are going to be having +1/+1. He already got Parthian Tactics because he is Tatars, so he gets that for free. Same with Thumbring in Castle Age. So even without any Blacksmith upgrade, his CA are going to be having 3 Pierce Armor, which is pretty nice against Longbowmen. Now the thing is, Longbowmen, they do have one more attack than a Arbalester. So if you have a Longbowman full upgraded against a Tatar full upgraded CA, it kind of plays out like a standard Arbalester against a standard CA. I mean, the fire speed for the Longbowman is lower compared to an Arbalester, but because the Britons, they also shoot from farther away, so I think that kind of makes up for the difference. Of course, Chipmunk still missing the Yeoman upgrade, which is going to be giving him +1 range on his archers. And I forget how much attack on his towers. I think it might be 5. It's probably 5 attack on his towers. I don't know. I know that tax gives you more attack on the towers. I just keep forgetting how much. But yeah, Britain's towers with that, they're not going to be as insane as, you know, I don't know, Japanese towers or Georgians. But they're still pretty respectable. We have a little Longbowman coming in. Okay. I mean, Tak, you say Chipmunk is giving FlyingMouse time to prepare, but honestly, when looking at the two sets, I think it should be FlyingMouse who should not be giving Chipmunk time to prepare, because I honestly favor Britons at the moment. They have one of the scariest death rolls to face. And now we have a Briton castle on FlyingMouse's face. I mean, this castle is not going to be denying that many resources. FlyingMouse still has a... Oh, that's where the relic was. Okay. He still has some wood behind this. He could even, you know, delete some buildings, maybe sneak out this way and go take this one from this area. But at the moment, he doesn't really have an answer to Elite Longbowman. Or rather, Elite Longbowman with Halberdiers in front. Because yes, these Hussars, they have more pierce armor, but we go back to the same argument we had with the, you know, the Arbalester against the CA, because the Longbowman has +1 attack compared to the Arbalester. This is going to be playing out like Arbalester against Hussars. And yeah, we, as Tak mentioned in chat, we have a big army difference. We have sappers from FlyingMouse. Is he going to rush this castle with villagers? No. Okay, Halberdiers still taking down. I wonder, does he... No, he didn't get arson, which could have helped. FlyingMouse is going to be trying to build another castle back here. I mean, he still has a decent eco, right? But he's got a lot of idols, and so he doesn't really have enough villagers on farms to be spamming Hussars, which is what you might want to be doing with the Tatars. You spam Hussars, and then you have something behind, which is generally speaking going to be CA. there's going to be a castle from Chipmunk in FlyingMouse's eco. Now, keep in mind, FlyingMouse got sappers. So, and we have, okay, yeah, I'm coming in. We still have no mortar holes from Chipmunk, so that castle might go down to the villagers. I mean, it's going to go up now, but it's already at half HP. Okay, no, there is the halberdiers coming to the rescue. And he's going to get murder holes. Actually, now that I look at it, FlyingMouse has been expanding this way towards Chipmunk's base, who now got the relic countdown started. Where's the monastery? There it is. So FlyingMouse might be thinking, oh, I need to get rid of that, but if you focus on trying to get rid of this, then you're not addressing this issue. Now, that said, he managed to kill the longbowman. There are some halberdiers on the field, but the CA are going to be able to take care of that, so he's still missing chemistry and heavy CA though, and he doesn't really have the resources for that. He's working towards that, but yeah, now longbowmen, they can just camp. They stay in between castles. You shoot with the traps and you slowly do what Britons do best, and that is slowly push you, and you cannot push them back because of how strong the longbowmen, I mean even arbalesters with the extra range are very hard to push back. If you try to go for mangonels, or sorry, orangers, that doesn't work. They just snipe them. You should probably go for, I don't know, siege ram. Is generally speaking the best option against Britons, because they do not have a strong option themselves to counter that. I mean, they can still go for Onager with siege engineers, but it kind of feels weird to go for Onager as Britons. And yeah, now Chipmunk is just going to be walking inside FlyingMouse's base. Yeah, FlyingMouse trying to raid his opponent, who wisely walled up. Ooh, there's a hole back here though. But yeah, there are castles, so that castle just died. Okay, we have Werewolf. This is going to be making Chipmunk's traps 100% accurate, and they will also deal splash damage. So when the rock hits the floor or someone's head, they will also do damage in a small area, which is a pretty nice deck to have to deal with. For example, the mess of skirmishers, which were left unattended. It's pretty nice against onagers as well, or bomber cannons. It's a sick deck, in short. FlyingMouse in a very bad spot. He's building a TC here. I don't think I'm sorry, but this is important right now. Okay, that's enough of that. Anyway. So FlyingMouse, he's rebuilding down here, and I believe Chipmunks, yeah, he doesn't see that. So there's rebooming potential here, arena style, or rather, team game arena style. But yeah, Chipmunk is sitting here with 5 elite long moment, just okay. Now FlyingMouse noticed. Wait, why did that? That wall just changed architecture style. I'm not sure why. I'm surprised Chipmunk is not addressing in any way this, because he sees that, right? So you make a couple of traps from here. You do have the rest for that. You make some halberdiers from here to keep those safe. And as you're pushing here with the archers, you just push from here. He is slightly overboomed, right? As an archer civ, at this point of the game, you don't really need more than 125, 130 villagers. So he could delete maybe 20, even 30 of them. Oh, I heard some villagers die. Did he? Yeah, I think he just deleted some vills. Because at this point you really want a big mass of longbowmen, a couple of tribes behind, and you just spam halberdiers in front. And that's going to be your push. He's got 8 tribes total, that's insane. But now he knows about this area. He's going to drop a castle here. He got sappers as well. So I noticed this as well when he was dropping the castle on his opponent's face and later on the farming eco. Okay, never mind. I was about to say he doesn't use that many bills to build the castle, but yeah, now he's sending more. Camels still dancing. That's important. Yeah, now FlyingMouse is going to be pushed even more inside this corner. Murder holes just ping off. He's going to be pushed from this side with the archers. He cannot go this way because there's Chipmunk space. I mean, he still has access to resources, but he needs more villagers on farms. He has, well, that's 5-6 farms. Let's say he's got 56 farms, but he only got 19 on food, which is not ideal. Another castle from Chipmunk. He likes castles. That's what, 4, 8, 9. Okay, can we get to 10? Chipmunk, just buy the resource and drop a 10th castle. Please do it for us. I mean, they're even getting treadmill crane. Just do it. Ooh. This is what I was talking about. You need to delete some bills because you do not have enough manpower here. Oh, FlyingMouse repairing with the bills. The AI plays. Let's go. And hold the phone. Is FlyingMouse coming back? Oh, well. Maybe not. Because Chipmunk can still win this with the relic victory. Quick reminder that Alchemy League is played on standard victory. FlyingMouse getting involved, so now He might lose this ram. Yes, he will.
Yes.
Wait. Wait, he took out the relics? Okay, I guess. I'm not sure why, but I mean, FlyingMouse mentioned relics, so maybe... I mean, FlyingMouse should not be thinking that this is played on Conquest, right? Because he's played in previous seasons, so he should know this is played on Standard Victory. So what I'm guessing is people were talking on the Discord about how the timer for relics gets a little bit bugged because of how the monuments work. Sorry, the wonders work, because they spawn relics. So maybe they just agree beforehand to not win with relic victory on this map. But I don't know. Yeah, attack. I think that's what it is. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. But the thing is, now FlyingMouse, he's got heavy CA. His eco is climbing slowly but steadily. I mean, he's on 2 TCs at the moment. He's dropping his 3rd and 4th. He cleans this group of longbowmen. Okay, this is the moment where Chipmunk needs to not resign, even if, let's say, he loses this chunk of eco, right? This is the moment where you do not start thinking, oh, I was pushing him so hard, but now he's coming back. It's GG. No. You do not think that, because losing eco now is good. It's very good for you, because now you're going to have space for your military. This is the moment of the game where you say, you look at your bills, and you think, oh, I actually hate those guys. And you start spamming army behind with your villagers dead. Because you have more map control, you have 4 relics, you are Britons, you have amazing resources in the bank. You just keep spamming, because in the long run, your opponent's army is more expensive than yours. So you just keep this up. No, just attack the CA with the longbowman. There we go. Yeah, look at that. God, it's so satisfying. I mean, this might be... I might be saying this because I've played this game since I was a kid, but I think seeing the longbowman shooting from maximum distance with the, the arrows soaring so high is one of the most satisfying things in Age of Empires. It's maybe second only to seeing an onager shot killing something like 30 skirms or something like that. Monastery is down here, so I mean there's 2 castles protecting it. Oh, no, I thought he didn't kill the monastery. Chipmunk just took out one relic. Wait, now... Wait. Why FlyingMouse has a... Why does he have a... But he's got 2 relics. Okay, I guess he's going to take them out, take one out as well, but yeah. Also, I'll be honest with you, even back in Season 1 when people started talking about how the relics were a little bit buggy on that map, I just didn't care. I just thought, well, I'm not going to be trying to win with Relic Victory anyway, so I don't really care. Oh! Heavy Scorpion, let's go. Heavy Scorpion is actually nice thinking. I mean, you can keep them alive with the halberdiers. You need them to be shooting on the CA, not on the... Oh. Shoot! Now behind this, FlyingMouse is back to 129 villagers, so now he's got that nice Farminico to just spam hussars. But we have 16 scorpions on the field from Chipmunk. So this is going to get out of hand quite quickly, and Tatters, they do not get Bomber Cannon. Do they get Siege Engineers? I believe they... Oh, they do? Okay. So they could go for a Heavy Scorpion themselves if they wanted to. And we could have a full-on Heavy Scorpion fight between the 2 players. FlyingMouse seems to be opting for Rams instead. I mean, he does get... They're still dancing. He does get Siege Ram. He could maybe get it. It's 1k food. I think you should be getting it, again, especially against Britons. Against Britons who are also going Heavy Scorpion. Yeah, you do get that again, upgrade. I do not like how Chipmunk is being a little bit wasteful of his... Well, not a little bit, a lot wasteful of his Heavy Scorpions. That said, FlyingMouse, he's been controlling his army well, right? He's just keeping his CA here. They're tanky enough to maybe be staying on the front line, and then he just went around with the hussars to encircle the Scorpions and just snipe them. And honestly, now FlyingMouse, but might be the one closer to victory. Chipmunk doesn't have that much wood. He does have wood access for the time being. He might lose this castle. Actually, hold on. Let me check wood access for FlyingMouse. Okay, no, it's still fine. Yeah, he's still fine. He even still has the one from the start. Ooh, Jack, I do not know about Cavalier because you're facing CA. And I know you get all of the armors, but you do not get bloodlines. So that's not ideal. If anything, instead of Cavalier, I would opt for maybe even for Light Cap. Right, you still keep fighting here with the archers and scorpions. So you can hold this with scorpions and archers, and you just make Light Cap to go raid your opponent, because at the moment, what's preventing you from killing this ball of CA, which is the main issue, is the fact that your opponent keeps spamming a mid shield in front of that. But if you cut off the Rico and FlyingMouse is completely open, then suddenly the hussars are out of the equation, or rather there are less of them, and you can start pushing with your archers and your scorpions. I mean, your melee damage against the rams can easily be the halberdiers, which also double as, you know, a good counter to the... Oh, it's getting timored with Sagecraft. I mean, even if Tatters do not get the 2 final armors, it doesn't really matter as much. Against Cavalier, you still have an amazing amount of bonus damage, and I think missing 2 armor is made up by the fact that you're facing Cavaliers with no bloodlines. So, I mean, going against Cavaliers, even without the armor, it's still worth it. You still kill them. It's still cost effective. So that's why I would rather see... I'd rather see some Light Cap in the eco, because then you're not using your gold for a unit which is going to be countered anyway. I mean, actually has so much gold that, yeah, maybe you can even just go Cavalier to raid. Yeah, I wouldn't use the Cavaliers here. I would go raid. But yeah, I agree. With that amount of gold, just go Cavalier at this point. Finally getting Blast Furnace. Okay, I believe FlyingMouse ejected 1 relic and put it back in. Now he's got Siege Ram, which is horrendous for Britons to deal with, but he's going Onager. So it's going to be Onager Longbowman. Okay, we have a raid from FlyingMouse. That's good. Quick reminder that Chipmunk got the murder hole stack, so he cannot try to take down castles with the hussars. Okay, so now this could be turning into a halb onager push from Chipmunk, and I'm not too sure how Tatters deal with that, right? Because they do not get bomber cannon. They do get hand cannon, which is nice against the halberdiers. But ooh, those are some nice shots. He can snipe that, yeah, but he's going to be sacrificing a lot of HP. He lost so many CA there. I mean, he still has resources, so it's not the end of the world. But you still do not want to be doing that, because you need the mass with CA. That's what makes them strong. Now, Chipmunk losing a lot of vills to the raids. He's still fine for resources. But he needs to be careful. Yeah, the issue with the onagers is going to be the speed, but to be honest, generally speaking, with Britons, you do have an issue with mobility. I would have liked to see some stone walls from Chipmunk here, instead of house walls. Because you really do not want to be looking back at your eco to deal with raids. You just want to focus on this one big push you're going to have with your army. But yeah, now Chipmunk back to 6 vills. Sorry, back to 7 army, 90 vills. The castles down here got cleaned up. Quick camel check. Yes, they're still dancing. And I think this is going to be FlyingMouse's game. Yeah, Chipmunk calls the GG. Wow. I did not expect that. There was a moment where I thought, why is FlyingMouse not calling the GG? I think he's dead, but he proved me wrong. He just came back. And I think it goes back to the fact that Chipmunk kind of overboomed. Because he was pushing, but with something like 40 army. And it was 20 halberdiers and 20 longbowmen, so he didn't really have the mass there. Had he stayed at, I don't know, 120 vills, I think he manages to push stronger and faster and definitely kills FlyingMouse there. But yeah, very nice comeback from FlyingMouse. It was risky, I think, to expand towards his opponent instead of expanding this way. I mean, he started expanding this way as well, but then ended up just going this way, mostly. Which is risky. And I think if Chipmunk had realized earlier that he could have pushed this, then the game, yeah, it ends there and then. But yeah, that expansion paid off. He managed to get at that soft spot when you have enough farmers to just spam your hussars in front of your CA. And that won him in the game. Also, he was late to the siege ram tech, but he did get captain rank quite early on, and he was making them. So yeah, that's the correct play against Britons. Alright, so let me load up game 2 real quick. It's just going to be on Shimmerpool. So this map, you see, with this generation, you have a lake in the middle, but there are different generations of the map. So you can have one For example, where this is just ice. So you cannot build docks, you cannot get fish, and so on and so forth. So you do need to scout the middle. I mean, well, well, no, not really, because if there is ice in the middle, then there is going to be snow on the rest of the map. So you load it, and you just know, oh, icy snow. Maybe it should not be going to the middle. If I'm not mistaken, there's also a generation where you do have ice, but there is still water. Tech, correct me if I'm wrong about that. And I believe there's also a generation where you have more fish than the one we see right now. But anyway, aside from the lake in the middle, you see you have woodlines around that lake. And that's the only woodlines you have. Those are the only woodlines you have on the whole map. So you need to be taking wood here, but as you can see, this is going to be a pain to wall, right? There are so many little holes. It was actually nice to have, it's actually nice to have the palms instead of the baobabs, because then those would be even harder to, they would make the spotting the holes even harder. So yeah. Now, let's talk about civs for a moment. We have Armenians from FlyingMouse, which makes sense, because you're probably going to be fighting for the water, so Armenians need very nice water civ. That's going to be fine. Kind of a risky choice, in my opinion, because if you get the generation with no water, just ice in the middle, then your main bonus is basically dead. I mean, you still have an amazing eco as Armenians, but you do not really have strong military options. So yeah, as a choice, it paid off. Just a bit risky for me. FlyingMouse taking in now his first boar. And on the other side, we have Hindustanis, which is a choice I agree with. They are an overall good civ. You could make them work on hybrid maps. This is a pretty open map, so going for a scout play is going to be pretty nice. You might not be able to get into the woodline, but as you can see, the gold, or rather the golds, are pretty exposed and far away from the TC. Kind of like what you would see on Atacama, for example. You could maybe even hit the stone, although I doubt people will be going for stone in Feudal Age. And then it has Hindustanis, even if they do wall their woodline, you can get in there quite easily because of the bonus they have on their scouts against woodline, against buildings. Both players docked. Chipmunk a little bit unlucky with the fish generation. He's going to go out now. He might be seeing his opponent is fishing. He might be... Oh yeah, he will get a veil kill. Yeah, no loom from Chipmunk. He tried to quick wall, but doesn't succeed. And I think he didn't spot the fish. Now he's going to be seeing this, and he will probably be fishing here. Now I mentioned the stone in the corners. There's also relics over there. You have one for each corner. It's a little bit... It's not easy to see on the minimap, but they're there. And then you have the fifth one here in the middle. So if you want to go for a relic victory, you do need to get water control. At least early on. You can, as long as you have water control up until the time you get the relic, you're fine. You can just give it up later, because Honestly, by that time, the fish here is going to be run out. So yeah, you're just going to be giving up on water eventually. Unless you want to go for a fish boom with fish traps, but then you are pretty exposed, so I wouldn't suggest that. FlyingMouse up to feudal. He's going to be opening fires. Do I like that? Yeah, it's fine. I'm generally speaking not a fan of fire ships, but because of how close the water is, then yeah, you can make them work. He was also up faster, so it makes sense. Now, I say my fire makes sense, but I know if I played this, I would probably still be going galleys. Knowing myself. Ooh, Chipmunk is actually going galleys. So okay, this is interesting. We have double dock galleys from the Hindustanis. We have single dock fires from the Armenians. So Hindustanis have no bonus on water. I forget what their water texture is like. Not amazing. But the Armenians, they do get one extra arrow on the galleys. Second veil kill from FlyingMouse. Okay, galleys. Yeah, if you micro them, you're going to be able to kill this. You do need fletching though to make it easier. The moment you get fletching, and you need to be careful. The moment you get fletching and 4 to 5 galleys, you can micro down this amount of fires. FlyingMouse being smart about it, just keeping them separated, so there is less room to run for Chipmunk. We now see an archer switch from FlyingMouse. Understandable as Armenians. I still would like to see scouts here, because the archers, they will have to walk all the way around, so it's going to take a while to deal damage. Is there going to be a third veil kill? No way. Okay, no. So, Doc is going to go down for Chipmunk. Oh, he's making demos. I would say do not overinvest. Honestly, you could justify... I don't think he knows that, but... Okay. Yeah, he goes for the fires. I mean... He should be suspecting that you have... that FlyingMouse has fishing ships on this fish. So maybe I would have used those demos to try and get some fishing ships. Like if... because of how they stack up, if you get like a demo here when the fishing ships are in this position, you can probably get all of those. And even now with the galleys, do not try to kill the navy. Just go for the fish. You lost water anyway. Just make it so that your opponent's investment to get this is pretty much nullified. Or rather, you kill the fish, If he wants to use, you know, the shorefish, sure, that's 2k food, but he will have to invest into even more fishing ships. But he will have access to the relic, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, FlyingMouse. Getting wheelbarrow. He's got a lot of wood, so I think we will see either a lot of... yeah. I was about to say either a market or a lot of farms. Chipmunk quite far away from Castle Age. He added farms faster and with horse collar. His opponent didn't have those. So now both players taking the fight to land. But we have a single scout from FlyingMouse making it difficult for Chipmunk to keep up with the skirm defense. And Chipmunk, oh, cause GG, okay. So a quick second game from our rodent players. And FlyingMouse takes this set 2-0. He is the higher elo player, so I would say it's probably expected. He also is the most experienced player when it comes to the league. Wait. Wait, is capture rate showing on stream? Because I do not see it from my point of view. Wait, did I do something? Did I change something? Okay. Yeah, now I should be seeing capture rate. Sorry. I did not realize that. Was it like that for long or? Anyway, let's just look at statistics and then we can move on to the next set. Yeah, military high was higher for FlyingMouse. He invested quite a lot on water. I mean, he won it, but he was also clever because he started switching to land even before he completely won water, so that was smart. And yeah, aside from that, quite close. I mean, even economy. Oh no, he was actually ahead by 1k3 resources. Alright, so that was our first set. Let's go back to the draft. We can close all of this. So, for our second set, we have Maxi against Pl0tterghost. Now, both of these players, they have played in the league before, in previous seasons. I think Pl0tterghost has played more seasons than Maxi, but I might be mistaken. Again, this was played on round 1. And so we're going to be seeing Crorina as our first game of the set. And then players, they just banned maps mostly randomly. Pl0tterghost, he banned Shattered Plains. But after that, he just went for random, just like Maxi. And the only one left, was the Thaw. which I believe is probably which I believe is a very interesting map. So I'm curious to see how it's going to be playing out. Now, as civs, we have, as that is global bans, we have Cumans, Spanish, Vietnamese, and Hindustanis with Mayans. Then Maxi proceeded to ban Goths and Georgians, whereas Pl0tterghost, he proceeded to ban Portuguese and Armenians. That left Maxi with Mongols, Saracens, and Malians. Koreans were sniped. And Pl0tterghost, he got Japanese sniped, but he was left with Magyars, Berbers, and Persians. So overall, pretty strong draft from both players. Now, before jumping into the game, I know these players have played with us before, but let's just give a round of introduction anyway. So Maxi, he's a player from... Oh, it says Czechia here, but is that correct? Anyway, he has a highest of 1650, or sorry, 1670, and he's currently 1534. Whereas Pl0tterghost, he is a Dutch player. And he's around the same elo, right? So Maxi has a slight, well, he has about 100 elo higher than Pl0tterghost, as it has his highest. But currently there is a 30 elo difference, so this is going to be a pretty balanced match. And of course there was no handicap whatsoever. Okay, let me load the first game real quick. And then we can jump on Capture Age. Okay, here we are. So, once again, Croatia. We have Mongols from Maxi and Berbers from Pl0tterghost. Okay, that's an interesting choice. So, I can see why Berbers, right? It's a pretty open map. Gold axes, even with the towers, because of the camels and the rocks, is not always going to be guaranteed to be great. So having a civ which can just spam, cheap units over and over is pretty nice. And Maxi, of course, if you've never seen this player before, he loves to lame. So he's just going out. I wonder if Pl0tterghost knows about his opponent's reputation. Actually, just going into his opponent's base with his single villain, the scout, attacking the house. And Pl0tterghost, he's probably a little bit confused at the moment. Sending to builds. Maxi. Oh, you gotta love him. He's going to be losing this though. Ooh. Nice save. Killing a sheep as well. Are you serious? Okay, Pl0tterghost taking the board in at the moment. I mean, all things considered, Maxi is idling the scout in a single vill. I mean, he did lose the scout himself, so maybe not that worthy, and he's also idling a vill himself. But I mean, he's Mongols, so he's ahead in Rest Collected. And he's sending more. Why? Oh, he deleted the palisade to lure Pl0tterghost into getting the scout there to kill it again. Ooh. Barracks forward, just... what is he? What is he trying to pull? I mean, Pl0tterghost could just wall this and be safe from any militia. Okay, Pl0tterghost up to feudal, so will Maxi. So will be Maxi in a moment. Maxi taking the forward gold, of course he is. He's sending more. Okay, so I guess we're going to be seeing a forward archer range. Or rather, yeah, maybe a stable and a tower on the wood line. I mean, a tower here would be very nice. Yeah, it's probably going to be towers. Because we see Maxis on stone. That's a nice mining camp. You could put a single vill on that gold and they should be able to take it. So a single tower here. You then make another one maybe here. Or here. Yeah, probably here. I mean, here would be easier to be spotted. Ooh. I mean, Pl0tterghost should be able to see that. Yeah, he sees that, but he has no way to fight it, because even if he deletes this, he cannot go out because of the stone, of the rocks. And he is going scout. Yeah, second tower here, so woodlines. Okay, the woodlines from Pl0tterghost in his base have been denied. He will now have to either keep on taking the stragglers or go out. He's opting to go out. Do we have... yeah, we have no units from Maxi at the moment. He's going to be trying to take down the palisade. Now the issue is this is a fortified palisade, so it has more HP. And even if you take it down, there's still the rocks, so I think you cannot get into your opponent's base. But Pl0tterghost is just walling up, just in case. Behind this, Maxi dropping some eco, just getting resources. He's behind by only 100, which is nice when he's going this aggressive with 5 idle builds. But now you have 5 scouts coming in. Ooh. Yeah, Maxi saw those. I mean, he could just wall the towers like this, and he should be fine. Yeah, Pl0tterghost taking this wood, which is nice. He's going to be undisturbed. Scouts coming in, killing a camel? Come on, Pl0tterghost, come on. Animal cruelty. Maxi just dropping a tower. I mean, he's got the stone, so he doesn't need to be too stingy on the defensive towers. He's just making some spears. I like the town watch research because now you're going to be having a good idea of where your opponent's scouts are. Especially when you're going to be this aggressive, so you have no army on the field. Ooh, this is nice as Mongols. Yeah, Maxi is pretty safe. He's got a decent wooden food eco, so he can just drop farms now. He's got spearmen. His opponent has invested a lot more into army, especially food army. Should not be able to get through these walls as easily. Oh, I forgot he built the barracks forward, so his spear is going to be forward. Okay. But now he's got these 5 villas. I mean, just drop a lumber camp at this point to have them do something. Wait, that's the first gold from Pl0tterghost? Oh, that's the second. I mean, if Maxi knew about this... Okay, yeah, he's going for the lumber camp. If Maxi knew about this... Ooh, he doesn't, but I mean... You should know your opponent only gets 2 golds, right? Just like yourself. You saw the first one, so you must know the second one is in this area. Maybe just make an outpost here to get an idea of what it looks like, and then you take it from there. Now, these scouts should not be able to... Ooh... So Maxi, I saw him use the markets. I think he's thinking about Castle Age. I mean, so is Pl0tterghost. Enemy Mongols? I mean, Magodai in the long run should get countered by the Camel Archers. So this is... If the game's long goes for late imp, this is probably a better situation for Pl0tterghost, although it really boils down to how good is Maxi's micro when it comes to onagers. Because yes, Berbers they do get access to bomber cannons, which generally speaking counter the onagers, but because of the drills upgrade from Mongols, yeah, that doesn't really work as well. And I think Onager Mangodai, Onager with drills plus Mangodai probably wins against Camel Archers and Bomber Cannons. Because I mean, with the Mangodai you can just snipe the Bomber Cannons, and then the Camel Archers cannot focus as much on killing the Mangodai, because if they stop to shoot the Mangodai, they're going to get hit in the face by some rocks thrown by the Onager, so it's not as easy. Okay, Maxi opting for a second TC. So he's going for the eco approach. Pl0tterghost getting bloodlines, so I guess... Oh. Hmm. Yeah, that castle is fine. I was thinking it might be a waste to drop it here, because, yeah, you want to get rid of the towers to get this wood, but you do not really need to do that at the moment, because you still have this, right? But at the same time, he knows there are some bills back here. So a castle here basically shuts down any potential pressure which might be coming from Maxi from this side. So yeah, you can. Yeah, that castle works. Scouts in. They just die. This villager should be able to kill the scout if Maxi notices. Nah, too late. Oh, nice. A TC from Maxi? Here? Forward TC? Okay. Okay, Maxi is going to ram down the walls. So I guess, just like me, he didn't know that you could jump into the tower to get to the golds. Now, Virkans, Pl0tterghost is pulling ahead. But that said, I mean, Maxi is idling a lot. He now got pikemen, which is not something you want to see as Mongols. But at the same time, he's managing to keep his opponent at home, right? So Maxi, yeah, he doesn't have a big eco as his opponent, but he's getting there. He is on his 4th TC. He's apparently producing from all of them. He's got a lot of wood, so he is going to be able to drop the farms. Could even justify just destroying these yurts and put down some better farms. He is eventually going to be running out of this gold, but that's fine. He got to this one. And he's keeping control of this. Oh, he's attacking the wall with TC. He's dropping a 50C. Holy. And he's going for crossbow. Okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense against camera archer. We're going to need ballistics eventually. And maybe at least the first armor. And well, Botkin. Okay, second castle from Pl0tterghost. I would have probably liked it here as well, but I mean this works too. Okay, university, most likely for ballistics. Ram just keeps going at the wall. And contrary to what we saw in the previous game, these two players are just not going. Well, sorry, in the previous set, the two players are not going for the wonders at the moment. Maxi even got guard tower. Oh boy. But again, this looks silly, but this is all Pl0tterghost has been looking at for the past 20 minutes or so. So Maxi is just dropping eco at home. He's still behind a lot, but anyway. Ooh. I mean, I know the idle TC time goes up faster when you have multiple TCs, but that's not good to see. Now, he's got ballistics. Gets one counter archer. I'd get 2. Make it 3. Make it 4. But the 5th one dies anyway. Okay, so that was nice for Maxi. He's now going to be annoying with just 2 pikes, nothing more, nothing less, which will go down to the bills. But now he's going to be coming forward with archers, and we see Pl0tterghost switching to skirms. Oh no, he already had it on the field. I mean, Berbers are a hard counter to Mongols, yes, until you get drill siege units. If you get to that point, maybe not as much. And we have Imperial from Maxi. Oh, well, for Pl0tterghost as well. So Pl0tterghost is going to get to Imperial with the better eco, but less army. And Maxi, at the moment, he doesn't really need to get into Manguzdai and stuff like that. He can just stay on crossbow for the time being. Drop eco, and the moment you get to, I don't know, 100 vills, then maybe you start thinking about that switch into, I don't know, Manguzdai or just Hussar Siege. Also, you can kill the towers. But they count as monuments, so shouldn't they be immortal? Well, it is regenerating, and Pl0tterghost just gave up, so we'll never know. Okay, Bracer and Chemistry. I mean, this cavalry is just going to die because no upgrade. There is Mangonel coming. Mangonel getting lamed by... Oh. So, you know, Maxi dropped this at minute 5 because he knew they would eventually save his army from getting shot in the face by a stone. Okay, now Maxi with a solid eco, getting wheelbarrow now, behind by only 10 bills. But now we have a third castle from Berbers, who are not going heavy into Camelarzo production, which makes sense because you haven't seen any CA or Mangudai from the Mongols. So he's probably just going, yeah, he's going to go for cheaper cav, maybe test out the waters, and then you take it from there. Because at the moment, all you've seen from Mongols is crossbows, which you can deal with your cheap cav. Especially in considering that, yes, Mongols can eventually get Arbalester, but they missed the last armor upgrade, so the moment the cav gets on them, it's over. Okay, nice surround from Pl0tterghost. Yeah, he's going to clean this up. And Maxi, okay, he's now going into Mangudai production, but he's only got a single castle. So it's not going to be easy. Well, he's dropping the second, but then you will have to do. Ooh, it might get denied actually. If Pl0tterghost goes that way, yeah. Ooh. Hustle just came in as well. Ooh, the castle might go up. Yeah. Yeah, but now you know there's a castle here. Yeah, you just queue up the traps from here. Did he get Kasbah? No. That would have been nice. Makes the castles work 25% faster. And now we have a hassle raid. So Maxi, he was already behind in eco. He got some bills killed here on the castle, trying to get it up. He is now going to get raided by cheap Berber Hussar. He's not in a good spot. He's making a cap switch as well, probably to support his Mangudai. But he's out of stone, so he's not going to be able to repair this one. There's already 2 traps. third and fourth coming are on the way. Conscription getting researched in this castle, so the traps will create even faster eventually. And now, yeah, just hussars. So many hussars. We're getting Casbah as well. Nice. Nice clean up for Pl0tterghost. Maxi trying to get in with some light cap. They're going to get trapped by the walls and the gold. By the way, the wall key opened to himself earlier on. And Maxi calls the GG. So game 1 goes to Pl0tterghost. Well played to both. I think what killed Maxi was the fact that he dropped so many TCs, but it kind of looked like he was forgetting to produce from them. He had so much idle TC. I mean, Pl0tterghost, even now, he's at a point of the game where you can just stop making vills, especially with Berbers. And he still has 13 minutes idle time. So that was good from him. I liked Maxi's approach, right? You know your opponent gets 2 woodlines in his base. You try to deny them with a tower. But then you need a follow-up, right? So I think something like towers into scouts could be nice on this map, because yeah, you deny those 2 woodlines, so your opponent now has to go for outside to get wood, and that's nice if you have like 3 or 4 scouts on the field. You can just pick vills. So I like the approach. It just didn't work in the end. Okay. Let me load up the second game now, which is going to be on the Thaw. Okay, so the Thaw. We have these players starting quite close to each other. As you can see, they have some shorefish around them. They only get 2 woodlines. You will have to go to the outside for picking woodlines later on in the game. Maxi, of course, going forward to lane. He's going to get 2 sheep. Pl0tterghost, he knows his opponent, so he's getting the ball right now. He doesn't know about the sheep over there, so that's going to be sad. Anyway, back to the map. So you do start with some shorefish around your TC, 2 woodlines, and then you have pretty much standard resources. Yeah, you get 2 boars, you get some deer, which Maxi lamed, of course he did. And then yeah, you get your berries, your gold, and your stone. Now this shorefish, the amount you get, you and your opponent get, it varies a lot depending on the map generation. I think I've seen generations where players had something like up to 20 shorefish around their base, and sometimes you would get like a cluster this big with 8 or 9 of them in there. So you just drop a couple of mills and you have an amazing spot for eco. Next, of course, knowing that shorefish is the fastest food income source in the game, just goes for the boar. Sorry, just goes for the shorefish and then takes the boar on the shorefish. Actually, just being annoying with the bill. Oh, it's always 8 now. Okay. So that has been standardized. Okay, that makes sense. So you do need to find that sweet spot where your mill is going to give you value, right? So for example, with Maxi, I would say maybe here, right? You get these two. Could even try to make it a little bit central to eventually get slightly less efficient for each one. But if you drop the mill here, it's going to be more efficient for these two, but it's going to suck for this. And the same goes for Pl0tterghost, right? You drop it here. It's nice for these two, but then it's going to be bad for this. Maybe you drop it a little bit farther away. Pl0tterghost actually struggling for... Well, no, not struggling for resources. He just kept making his vills jump into the TC to try and get the scout and the villager from Maxi. Oh, and in all the craziness of Maxi and they talk about the map, we didn't talk about the civs. So we have Persians for Pl0tterghost and Saracens for Maxi. I think Saracens sorry, work out pretty nicely for Maxi. I do not know how much he likes to use market, but seeing how he's a pretty scrappy player, I think the market play with Saracens might benefit him a lot. Whereas for Pl0tterghost, well, Persians are an overall great save, so whatever he wants to do is going to work out. But yeah, for the time being, both players are going to be working their way up to feudal. Pl0tterghost already getting there. Maxi, after some initial craziness, just went back home. I mean, he stole 2 sheep. He's going to be getting this shorefish. He should be happy. He didn't push the deer, but at the same time, he lamed one from his opponent. So that works out in the end. Ooh, I would... Scouts or archers? So on one hand, I would say archers because of how easy it is to break into your opponent's base with those. But on the other, and also they are quite better at playing with that market abuse style, because then you only have to focus on gold and wood. But on the other hand, I mean, this map is so open, you could just go scout. Well, I mean, yeah, Maxi is going for gold, but as Saracens, you could just go for gold, drop a market, and support your scout production with that. So with any other civ, this is telling that he's going to go for archers, but with Saracens, it could be whatever. I mean, he could even just sell everything and try to get up to castle as fast as possible and go for monks, for all we know. Okay, never mind. He's going for archers. Way to prove me wrong, Maxi. Nah, I'm joking. Well, Pl0tterghost, he's going to open Skirm Scout. So he probably figured, well, he's Saracens. If he goes for scouts, I have a better scout play. If he goes for archers, I can just go open skirms. Okay, just one sec. What was it? There we go. Sorry about that. Actually, 3 archers on the field, just not going forward for the time being. He's probably going to wait for a blacksmith with flashing. There it is. I do not know why the chat on screen is not getting... Yeah, I don't know. I do not know why the chat on screen is not up to date, but whatever. Anyway, we have better eco for Pl0tterghost. Maxi, well, he's got a market. He's taking gold from 2 different spots, so that's something, I guess. As Saracens is going forward. Okay, flashing is in. But we have walls from Pl0tterghost, and there is skirms, and there is a market, and he's going after castle. Okay, the skirms are going to die, but at the same time I doubt... So Maxi should not be able to get in with these archers before castle is... Of course there's a hole. I mean, he just plugged it. Okay, he plugs this. Okay, it's not the end of the world. They killed only 1 bill. Maybe 2. Oh no, it was just a skirmisher. I mean, this is still fine, right? You're Persians, you're about to hit castle. He doesn't have a stable. Okay. Oh, never mind. He had a stable. I'm blind. Sorry. Okay, yeah, this is bad for Maxi. Now you're going to have knights coming out with bonus damage against archers. There's only, I mean, 9 of them for forward, but... And I think Maxi does not know about the knights. Does he? Okay, no, he knows about the stable. Well, he still has seen no knights, but he knows there's a stable, so he should be expecting those. Pl0tter is hesitating a little bit too much. Right, these 2 knights... actually, I have no upgrades, so maybe do not send them forward. But at the same time, the more you wait, the closer the Saracen player gets to Castle Age and to his camels. And you cannot really go camels as Persians against Saracens because, well, they get extra HP. And this amount of archers can take care of a couple of knights with no upgrades. Pl0tterghost really needs to get bloodlines and at least the first armor upgrade. He's dropping the second TC. I'm not sure that's the play. Because of how fast they produce, it's going to be difficult to keep up production from a stable and 2 TCs with this amount of villagers on foot. Maxi... Okay, for the time being, he's not going knight. He probably saw his opponent still had no upgrades on the knight, so... Oh, sorry. Did I say he was not going knights? I meant he's not going to go for camels for the time being because he probably knows his opponent has no upgrades on the knight. He's staying on crossbows. Okay, we finally have bloodlines. Still no armor, so I think these crossbows, especially with the three spears, should be able to kill the knights. Which, quite wisely, I would say, are just going to go forward. Pl0tterghost probably realizes I have no chance of... Probably thinking I have no chance to kill the archers at the moment. So let's just go forward, but no, he has to prove me wrong. Okay, archers are in. They should be able to get a couple of kills on the vills. There's one. Pl0tterghost goes, no. Wait for the armor, yeah. You wait for the armor and then you engage 8 against... I mean, there's spears there, so it's risky. Yeah, that was probably not the great... I mean, there's the TC helping. But yeah, now the crossbows, they can just sit here and snipe the knights. Yeah, I mean, +2 would have been ideal, but he doesn't really have the eco for that. So you either wait for +1 and then you jump, or you go forward, right? You ignore these archers because they're just going to sit here anyway and deny this eco, and you just go forward with the knights and try to do some damage to your opponent. But the thing is, he jumped in as the +1 was about to get in. Against melee units, that's fine. Against archers, no, you stay out of range until the +1 is in and then you jump. Yeah, and you just add a siege workshop to kill the crossbows. you kind of have to accept that these farms and these farms are going to get denied for the time being. You just drop a siege workshop like here. Ooh, that's a nice find from Maxi. Didn't notice that. Ouch, that hurts. And I think with that, Pl0tterghost is out of gold. Yeah, he's sending some bills here, but there's no gold there. The only action would be here and here. I mean, there's these two as well, but I doubt he sees those. Right? Oh no, he knows about those. Okay, so he could eventually go there. And Maxi should not be finding this for the time being. I mean, honestly, if you're Maxi, your Saracens, just take down this table. Do not take the risk. Okay, that's the siege workshop. I mean, I do not want to say it's GG, but it's not looking good for Pl0tterghost. He needs to make this Scorpion work in some way. Like, if you can get rid of this ball of crossbows and send Vils back here. I know you're behind in Vils, but you're still Persians with 3 TCs, so you might be able to catch up quite soon. Quite fast, but yeah, you still have 20 crossbows to deal with. Mangonel and Max is up to Imp. Just Saracen things, I suppose. And 10 minutes of idle TC. Yeah, Pl0tterghost might call the GG the moment he sees Imperial Age. Okay, now Maxi needs to be watching this, but I think he is, right? Yeah. Careful. Nice. Okay, that was a great engagement from Maxi. Thumbbrink coming in. Yeah, I mean, he keeps idling the TC, so he should be able to afford chemistry and bracer. Does he have a university? Well, yeah, he has ballistics, so he must. Holy bonus damage. Against what? Oh, okay. He's talking about the building bonus. Yeah. Yeah, and Pl0tterghost calls the GG. Alright, so Maxi ties this up 1-1. Very nicely played. I think the biggest issue for Pl0tterghost was that he got to Castle Age faster. I think it was around here. Yeah. So now he gets to Castle Age, and he still has no upgrades, no bloodlines, no armor, no nothing. Right? If he gets to Castle Age with, let's say, at least 2 upgrades, and then his knights have those, he can take an engagement quite early on and then the archer mass just doesn't snowball and sit in his base like that. Or maybe just tower here on the gold to keep them out. Or just a siege workshop instead of the second TC, so you can just make a couple of mangonels or scorpions to defend, and then you just use your knights to go to your opponent's base. Because you should know, you're against Saracens. He played very scrappy at the start of the game, just going forward with vills and whatnot. So you should be assuming that he has no real eco behind this. So even killing like 5 vills is going to be huge. But yeah. Okay, economy. Maxi was actually ahead in economy. But yeah, look at that. I mean, Pl0tterghost had a 3-minute advantage to castle. And basically couldn't make anything happen during those 3 minutes because, yeah, he had knights, but with no upgrades, so they were pretty useless. Right, fun set. It's always nice to see Maxi play because of the crazy start and the forwards with the vills and the lames. So I think I'm going to end it here. I do not think I have the energy to cast a third set. Thanks to anyone who tuned in. And I will see you next time. Hopefully by that time I will have fixed the slideshow at the start. So until then, have a good one. Bye bye.